Hey, how are you? Let's talk about seasonal content on Pinterest. My name is Teresa Toledo. I am a Pinterest expert strategist. And before we start talking, I'm going to be sharing something super cool that can help you get your account started on Pinterest in a very intentional way, super quick, get your account up and running and optimized in 30 minutes or less. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about seasonal content. And yes, we're going to be talking a little bit about pumpkins, fall, holidays, and everything. So Pinterest is a platform that has a lot of seasonality built in. Um, Pinterest does ebb and flow. Pinterest users have a certain behavior that we see following trends throughout the year. One of the basic behaviors that we notice is that once the weather gets warmer and people get outside, they spend less time inside the platform because US, Canada, we want to enjoy the time outside. Once the weather gets better, we want to do things. But people may not be clicking much, but they're saving and planning regardless. It's just that we see a little bit of change when the weather gets better. Now, we are getting into the usually higher season for Pinterest. And the reason why I'm saying usually is that year after year, we see this situation happening, this phenomenon, but this year things are, off the charts. 2020, we didn't see the usual dip that we normally see once the weather gets better, but we are seeing trends going up already. And the trends have to do with seasonality. Now, people are on Pinterest planning, and they are already planning all of the seasons. I know everybody hates the fact that we don't get to enjoy the holidays and the seasons, and all the places are already pushing, all the merchandise for the following holiday, and we don't even get to enjoy. But that's how it goes. So on Pinterest, you kind of can follow what you see, the trend that you see with some merchants. When the merchants are pulling the Halloween content already, even though it's freaking hot outside, it's time to get your Halloween content on Pinterest. When you see all the merchants putting out fall decor, it's time to get your fall content as soon as possible. When you see them putting all the Christmas stuff, even though we don't feel like it's Christmas, we are not even ready for the previous holiday, but it's time to have your Christmas content on the platform. Now, you tell me, well, what if my content has nothing to do with the holidays? If your content first of all, let's talk about if your content has to do with the holidays. So if you're creating content ahead to share on the platform, try to incorporate the seasonality. If you're blogging, bring in the seasons into the content you're sharing. If you have products, let's talk about shopping lists. Let's talk about gift guides, gift lists for what's going on. If you're talking about deals on Black Friday, now is the time to get that content ready so you can start pushing. And everything else. If you're talking about recipes, if you're talking about arts and crafts, if you have anything that is truly seasonal, now it's the time. And if seasonal for the fall, it's time to start pushing. When is the time to put the content out? Usually, the sooner the better. But I would ask you for a minimum of 6 weeks before the actual holiday to start pinning the content that you want to be trending for the holiday. Now, some people will say that even sooner, 3 months ahead, why not? I think there is nothing wrong to start pinning the content sooner. So which means we are end of September, you can definitely start pushing your Christmas and January content right now. Why? Because that will give time for Pinterest to index and check out that content and categorize that content so it can be served to the right people when they start searching for it. Now, if you tell me, well, my business has nothing to do with fall, Halloween, Christmas, no problem. You can dress up your evergreen content a little bit. And why not? And that's super interesting because I shared this tip a couple of weeks ago with a dear friend of mine. And what she did, she went in one of her clients and dressed up the content a little bit and the content that she has is related to copywriting, but she saw an increase in views and interaction with that content, and that's what we want. Which means if you are sharing tips on staying fit, let's talk about how to stay fit during the holidays. Super basic. How to stay fit throughout Thanksgiving. If you are talking about organization, how to do your fall cleaning. Actually, usually we think about spring cleaning, but fall cleaning is a thing. How to get things organized for a certain holiday. If you're even talking about wellness, well-being, mental health, you can always say talk about how to deal with family gatherings throughout the holidays. This is a big thing. People are searching. People can use that content. If you have a service, how can you bring your service or whatever you're providing, in a way that it will serve your audience not better, not because of the seasonality, but will make your audience think, hey, it is time for me to do that. It is time for me to get that done. And why not use the seasonality component to attract people to your content? One way that you can do this is through images. If you're going to create your images, why not start adding, little sprinkles of fall, of Christmas, making them look, the content is still evergreen, but you're just dressing up. And by dressing it up, that content may surface along with content that's heavily seasonal, and why not? Everything that you can do to get your content seen should be done. Don't we see that everywhere? If you look at, you go to the mall, the stores are decorating, right? For the season, for the holiday. So on Pinterest, we can also do that. Even when your content is not necessarily related to the holidays and the seasonality, there is nothing wrong to do that. Just bring it up, incorporate. If you are feeling up to the challenge and you have your blogs, get your blogs talking about, a little bit about this. How to do X, Y, Z that you're teaching or that you're offering during football season. Football season is a big thing on Pinterest, just saying. So this is a way that you can kind of dress up your content and bring a little bit of intentionality to your pin, to what you're sharing on Pinterest, to what you are actually creating, the content that you're creating. And to be honest, this component we'll use for other platforms as well. We use that for Instagram, we use that for Facebook. The only difference is that with Pinterest, we bring in the seasonality sooner, just so Pinterest has enough time to spread the content, to share it so people can see. Otherwise, there is no point of people seeing in the last minute. Remember, Pinterest users are planners. This is what I have for you today. Don't forget to check out the resources that I'm sharing with you below. Subscribe and send me any questions you may have. I will love to answer them. Thank you.